Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're in the right place at the right time. It must be Tuesday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. I tell you, we're going to have a fun-filled show today. So I'm glad you all are here. Hang out with us. We've got the legendary Al Greer. And I'm sure we'll get into the fact on why he's legendary during the course of the conversation. I'm gonna see, can I get him to tell on himself, y'all? Sometimes people be talking, and they just tell on themselves. So we're gonna see, can we get him to tell on himself? But before we get to him, I've got to do my shout outs. I'm so excited that it snowed in Chicago because now they can get that first snow drive out of the way. Some people don't live in snow belts. You don't know what it's like when they get the first snow of the winter season. People act like they ain't never seen snow before. They be looking at the windshield, running in the back of cars, driving over poles, driving off in the ditches. Like they people live in Chicago all their life. But we got the first snow in Chicago today. Now we can get the first snow day out of the way. Now people get back to normal tomorrow. Okay. So they'll be able to drive in the snow like they know what to do. So I'm glad it's over with. But shout outs. Let's get these out of the way. First thing I want to do is give a shout out to all of the healthcare heroes that are out there in the world. I always love to give them a shout out because they have a job that is thankless. And I want them to know that somebody is praying for them and appreciates all the things that they have done and they are doing. We still got a lot of germs floating around in the world. They're coming up with different names for them, but these germs are killing people. And nurses have to deal with this. Healthcare professionals have to deal with this continuously all year round. For 2 years straight, they have been stressed out over this germ and this disease. And I tell you, I like to shout them out every chance I get. I appreciate you. I thank you. So, in order to help them do their job, please wear a mask. Please keep your distance. And that way you won't wind up where a nurse got to, cure, help you get cured and send you back to your loved ones. So I give this warning every time. It's not over yet. You need to be careful. Okay. So act with caution. Okay. This thing is not over yet. I also like to give a shout out to all of the pastors that are on the front line. They have a thankless job as well. You need to pray for your leadership, thank them because they are out here trying to keep all of us morally lifted up and spiritually strong at a time like this. There are things going on right now in the world that we don't know how a lot of things are going to wind up. But if you've got someone that is a positive influence, please pray for them. Keep them lifted up. Please keep them encouraged because they need encouragement as well. Okay. And a special shout out to my mentor, Dr. Lloyd Michael Hunt. Okay. He's been on the show about a month ago. Go check that video out. We had a lot of fun on the show. So go check it out. It's on my YouTube channel. Go look for the video with Dr. Hunt on it. And I promise you, you will not be disappointed. Okay. So moving right along, let's go over here and take a look at. I want to invite you all out to my website, ask-dr-ron.com. When you get over there, I want you to scroll down and take a look at all of my advertisers. There's a few of them listed here on the page. There's RRJ Webb, Prince Hunter Financial Group, and Port Again Sam. You can click on each and every one of the banners, and it will take you to their website, and you can find out in detail what each and every one of these people do. And you'll be able to book private lessons with Prince Hunter. You'll be able to set up a private tasting with Port Again Sam. so that you can taste some of the best wine from all over the world. So check out my advertisers. You can also scroll up to the top and you will see all of my social media, my Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, all of that. My YouTube channel is there. You can go over there and find all of my shows. So go over there and just get nosy. Look all around the website, see what's going on. A lot of people at home because of the holidays. This will give you something good to do. Okay. So now, um, shout out to Diane Cherry. Happy New Year to you. I see her on the comments. Paula Gilmore as well. Shout out to you. So now I've got a friend and brother this is not his first time on the show. He's been here before. He came on when we were just a radio station in the back room, of a I don't even know what it was, a property that we housed the radio station in, and he used to come over there and do a lot of work. He used to do a lot of voiceovers, commercials. I don't think he ever had a show over there. I think he was in between some of those 10 jobs a day that he does, but he used to come by there and hang out with us. And it was a lot of fun, seeing him. So one day I grabbed him. I said, "Man, you want to come on the show?" He said, "Sure." He never says no, not when it's an opportunity to do something, And we've been friends a very long time. Appreciate him. Welcome back to the show, my brother, Al Greer.
Oh, me? Okay.
Yeah.
You
You thought it was
said you were going to
somebody
say some
else?
nice things about me, but I'm like, wow, I'd like to hang out with that guy.
Yeah. Every time you wake up in the mirror, you're there.
There, that's what Teddy
No,
Pendergrass says.
yeah, look, like I said, every time you wake up in the mirror,
In the
because you could be in the mirror and not woke yet.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
is absolutely true.
So what's happening, my brother? As everybody can tell, he has this professional voice, and he ain't playing. This is the way he sound on a regular. Okay, I'll be like, this dude here. You don't take no days off with that voice, man. It's just like that all the time, huh?
Someone asked me once. I was over at Mr. G's on 87th and Ashland, and this young guy runs up to me. He's like, "Man, how'd you get your voice like that?" And it kind of caught me off guard. So of course I said something real sarcastic. I said, "Cigars and coffee." So there was a gas station across the street. He ran over and got him some Swisher Sweets and and a bottle of Starbucks coffee. I'm like, "Oh, bro, this is the way I sound 24/7."
Oh, wait a minute. Then he came back, like, hey.
Hey, is it working yet? No.
Oh,
Keep
man, that's
drinking,
funny.
keep smoking. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Miss Althea Fowler. I sent her a Merry Christmas greeting and she didn't respond. So I'm glad I see her in the comments to know
Hmm.
that she's doing well. You
And
know,
Diane Cherry.
yeah, Diane Cherry. Yes, Diane Cherry's over in North Carolina. So you've been around a long time. You might remember who her husband was, Bill Cherry.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Bill
Sounds
Cherry
familiar.
was a good friend of mine.
Hmm.
And he was a legend in Chicago as well.
Hmm.
And he worked with everybody, I mean, everybody. Farrakhan, Jesse, he worked everywhere. He was on his game. And Diane and I, I've been in touch, continuously since Bill passed away. So I'm glad to see her, on the line. Her daughter's full grown now, got a full family, Bill's last child. And I tell you, it's good to stay in touch with folks. The Bible says the widows we have with us always,
Absolutely.
something to that effect. I might be misquoting, I'm paraphrasing, but it's good to still stay in touch with folks, and I'm glad she checked in during the holiday season. So So
Absolutely.
so you should have told him whiskey and cigars, because that way,
Whiskey and
the
cigars.
bar would have made some money, not the coffee station over across the street.
And he wouldn't have had to run, across
Yeah.
the street.
Yeah,
So,
because they probably got swishers behind the bar over there at Mr. G's. Yep. Yep.
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, for real, for
You
real.
name it, they
Because
got it. Yeah.
that's a hood bar. So they
Yeah.
probably
Yeah.
they might have had that behind the bar.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, that particular day, yeah, probably.
Yeah. Shout out to Dr. Katrina Sanders. She just had a birthday on last week. She's stopping in to see what Al Greer is talking about on today. So, I jokingly said in the introduction that you got about 10 different jobs, but that's not really a joke. That's really your resume. You know,
Absolutely. Yeah.
you have, I mean, an extremely amount of jobs around the Chicago, Indianapolis, everywhere. Anybody that will, put you on the air, you show up and perform religiously.
Yes, sir.
So you wanna, can you share? Are you worried about getting in trouble but not mentioning everybody's name? Or, you
No,
want to tell everybody where you at?
currently I'm sitting here at WVON, which is at 800 South Wells, 1690 AM, where I'm the production director, which means I'm the voice of the station. I do all the commercials that you hear on the station, put the recorded commercials in the system, and that's what I do 4 days a week here. Also work out in Gary at WGVE, where I'm the consultant for that station. Shout out to Big Papa and Carl Rayford. Um, the other station that I work for is WBGX, which is a gospel station. I'm also the voice of that station and a board op slash engineer 2 days a week. When I'm not there, of course, I'm recording voiceovers and commercials for that station. Also, BiggsRadio.com, which is an online radio station. I work for her. She works for me. We work together. And we've known each other for about 40 years. We both started out in Gary together at WLTH, which is 1370 AM. We both started out in our 20s at that station. She was a intern under Vivian Carter of VJ Records,
Mm-hmm.
and I was I guess you could say I was a student of Richard Pegee, Herb Kent, Jim Rags, all the rest of those guys. Everybody who was anybody in radio, I tried to get as much knowledge from them as I could. So
AKA the bad boys.
yeah, so I
Yeah.
would just follow them around. Every time Herb would say, meet me at this place there at this time, I would beat him there. And I all I wanted to do was just be around him. I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to carry his records. I wanted to, just be in his presence. And I finally got that opportunity when I was about 13, 14 years old. He had a show on Saturdays called Teen DJ.
Mm.
So you had to be 18 years old to be a teen DJ.
Okay.
I was about 13, 14 years old. It sounded like an 18-year-old man. So I called the radio station. The lady um,
You,
told
you,
me,
you need to answer that because I know you at work.
hold on. Production, hello.
Well, like he said a minute ago, he's at WVON.
Yes.
So he has to answer that phone because otherwise they'll think he's somewhere where he ain't supposed to be. So we know how to cover
I'm
for
wrong number,
him
sir.
so he don't so he don't get in trouble. You know. So
Anyway, like I was
so
saying,
so so what they do? Order a pizza or something?
yeah, wrong number. It's like, hey,
Okay.
they need one there. No, no one's here.
Yeah.
Anyway, back to my story. WVON. My father took me to 3350 South Kedzie to meet Herb Kent. And we got there. My dad, kind of conservative, kind of old school. When he saw Herb Kent with this long dog ear collared outfit on, a two-piece, a Fu Manchu mustache that covered most of his mouth and his hair down to his shoulders, he was like, "You want to be like this clown?" I said, "Daddy, that is Herb Kent, the cool gent. You better recognize.
Uh-huh.
He's his hair longer than your mama's." So from there on, I forged a friendship with Mr. Kent. Later on, I ran into Richard Pegee, who was a consultant / operations manager at WLTH, which is the station that I actually started at. And he would bop back and forth between Chicago stations and Gary stations, dropping off commercials for Moo and Oink.
Okay.
Well, one day he pops into the studio. I'm in kind of like where I am now in the production studio. And he comes in there, he says, "I have some commercials for you to do." Like first of all, who are you and why do you do commercials for me? So later on I found out that he was Richard Pegee, and he was the reason that I was out there in the first place, because um, he had sent my name to those people. At the time, they were owned by Greg and Willis Brown, and he sent me out there. And when I got there, they already knew who I was. They're like, "Okay, you can start tomorrow." I'm like, "Tomorrow? Okay." So I started out as the, uh, I guess, the errand boy. So 3 days out the week, I would deliver the newsletter, and 2 days out the week, I would come back and do production, commercials, and everything else like that. So eventually what happened was they found out that I knew how to do commercials. I knew how to splice. I knew how to record. I knew how to, voice commercials. So eventually I ended up went from the errand boy to being the operations manager of WLTH, which was a talk station at the time. So one thing led to another, and they were like, we'll get somebody else to do that. You don't have to deliver the newsletter anymore. You are now officially the, operations manager. So that was it. I'm like, wow, I moved up, didn't I?
Yeah. So just to give people an idea, because I'm sure people don't even have a clue, what the salary was for those type of positions back then. They wasn't paying very well.
No. As a matter of fact, I think I made maybe it something like $8 an hour back then.
Yeah.
But I was a kid. I wanted to be in radio. That's all I wanted to do. So $8 an hour, and I was still living at home, was a lot of money at the time. I was still sleeping in the basement like I am now. But
some things never change.
Some things never change. Sleeping in the basement of my parents' house, and that was it.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah, still in the basement.
So with Dinah Lynn, I know you have a position with her as well. Because she has a radio network that's internet based.
Yes.
And I think she broke out into her own, I think last year, or was it year before?
Year before last, because she was with me. Both of us got, I guess, dismissed over at WLTH / smoking99.com, which is the station that she was working at. So she brought me in to be her fill-in and eventually get a show of my own. Well, both of us got ousted by the people who were owning that radio station, whose names will remain nameless, and decided to start my own.
That ain't them two brothers that own 5 other stations in Mississippi and all them other places, right? They still own that?
Exactly. Yeah, those guys.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
those guys.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I ended up starting my own radio station 5 years ago. It came to me in a dream one night. The call letters, WOSD, were old school and Dusty's. And it came to me in a dream. So I stood up, sat up in the bed, went to the computer, and typed in WOSD, and it came up the World Organization of Self Destruction. I was like,
Oh, so that's who you competing with?
yeah. I was like, well, maybe I should rethink this. So once you put
uh,
radio behind it, then it becomes WOSDradio.com instead
okay.
of World Order of Self Destruction.
Oh my goodness. World order.
Of self destruction.
So do you get a lot of fans from that are Republican and Trumpites? You know,
As a matter of fact, yeah, because they, you know, go to the wrong website and they come up
right?
and they see me.
Then they
they're
know
like,
they're in the wrong place. You
they're
know.
like, wait a minute, that's a
Yeah,
Negro.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We
He's a
can't
Negro.
look. This can't be
And they
right.
play some good music. you know.
Yeah. Look, does that site still exist or you don't know?
I don't know.
You ought
I
to
haven't.
buy it and just put your face on it.
You're right. Yeah. Put my smiling black face on.
Yeah, just buy it and put your face on it, you know.
Yeah.
And then put a relink to your radio station,
To
you
my
know.
radio station. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be fun. Yeah.
Yeah.
That'd piss a whole lot of rednecks off. Yeah, I
Oh,
said that
yeah.
out loud. I said that out loud. Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
use the inside voice, Doc. But
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
but anyway,
Yeah.
I started my own station. I dedicated the station, of course, to both Herb and Richard, who were, you know, two of my mentors. And, you know, for the past 5 years, we've gotten several thousand listeners. I couldn't tell you
That's
how
great.
many. We have people listening to us in China, Japan, the Netherlands, um, uh, Russia. I mean, just all over, Germany. And it's just weird because, like I'm talking to you now, I could be sitting at home doing my radio show and people are listening to me all over the world. People who can't even speak English, but they love the music. They love
Yes.
what we do. And, you know, once again, it all started when I was a kid in the basement of my parents' house. And
Yeah.
I set up my equipment like I was in a radio station. I had my little turntables and my little mixer in the middle, and I made me a little makeshift mic stand that I got from Radio Shack, and I tried to make it look like a real radio station. And then,
Yeah.
you know, what started out as a hobby or just something to do to keep me quiet turned into a career some 40 years later.
Yes.
Yeah.
And quite a distinguished career, I might add. You
Why, thank
know,
you. Why,
yeah,
thank you, Dr. Ron.
yeah. So on your station, your main focus is like the call letters say, you know, old school and dusty. So that's the focus that's on the station. So you don't do, you know, rock and roll or anything like that. You stay true to your name and your format. That's it. That's all.
That's it. That's all. Yes.
Okay.
Not looking to play any hip hop, even though
Okay.
my program director, every now and then, he'll slip a hip hop song in there. And I'll be like, that's not what we play. That's not who we are.
So
We're
you have wait a minute. So
strictly
you
old.
have a program director that's allowed to put stuff on the air.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. I thought you was doing all the work.
No. A few years later, after starting the station, I started getting people coming up to me asking could they work for me. Like,
Okay.
well, you know, this is an internet radio station and we don't pay a lot of money, and you know, I have to pay you when I get money. He says, and they all said, we just want to work for you
Okay.
because of your expertise, because of your background, because of your career. We just want to work for you because of what you did in your lifetime.
Man, that's
And
deep right
we're
there.
just hoping that, you would rub off on us.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's
wow.
deep. That's deep. So are you telling people the same story? Cigars and coffee that'll help their career.
No, I stopped using that one after the young man,
Oh, okay.
died of cancer from smoking cigars.
Oh, yeah. The
No,
Marlboro man got him,
yeah,
huh?
but
Yeah.
I just tell people, I tell them the truth. I said, I went to bed one night. It was like, good night, Mom. Good night, Dad. Talk to you later. Talk to you in the morning. And the next day I woke up, it was like, Barry White had inhabited my chest. And it was like, good morning. Mom, you cooking some grits today? you know, and that
Right.
was it.
Right.
It was
Right.
like,
And
you
your
know,
dad got up with a baseball bat talking about, who the hell is that?
right. It's like, who let that man in the house?
Right. Right.
You know,
Right. Right.
the phone would
Right.
ring at the house, and my dad would, I'd pick up the phone, and they'd say, "Can I speak to the man of the house?" I'd like, "Hold on," and I put Dad on the phone. He'd be like, "Yellow." He'd be like, "Put the other guy back on the phone."
Oh, that's cold.
Yeah.
So, you said a whole mouthful, man, about how you started and who you were with, and I know that you have been mentored along with other colleagues in that circle of mentoring. Like Richard Perkey had his cast of characters that I call you all that hung out around him quite a bit. Like King George and Lamont and yourself. I mean, who are some of the others that hung out in that cast of characters?
Hmm. A guy by the name of Paul Morgan. Paul went to Columbia and was a student of Richard's. Paul went on to not only do voiceovers for Richard's various commercials, he's also doing movies.
Okay.
He's a movie star. Um, Lisa Finkel, aka Lisa E, she did commercials for Richard and became a
Hmm.
producer over at GCI and at Crawford. Um, PJ Willis, whom I introduced him to Richard because he was a big fan of Richard. I said, "You want to meet Richard?" Yeah, yeah, okay. So I introduced him to Richard, and they were inseparable after that. Um,
Hmm.
a couple of other people, Maurice King, who was my brother from another mother. I introduced all these people to Richard, and they became, or we became, Richard's disciples.
Yeah.
Everybody was interested in playing for Richard so that he could hear what they did, and that was it. You know,
Hmm.
we became disciples of Richard. We became dusty heads or whatever you want to call it. And whenever Richard had a party, he would always ask me, to set up for him.
Hmm.
So I would DJ until he got there. He was always late,
Hmm.
fashionably late.
That's look, same thing with Herb.
Yeah, same thing with Herb. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would
So who were
set
some of the alumni for Herb?
up. um, some of the alumni for Herb came before I did.
Okay.
Um, Jim Rags was an alumni for Herb who came way before I did. Ron Rogers on a Super Saturday.
Hmm.
Uh, he was one of Richard's students per se,
Hmm.
but for the most part, it was just me and
Hmm.
some of the people who hung out with him over at B103 and Chicago State University.
Yeah.
They kind of hung out with him in his latter days, and of course, I was, always somewhere around.
Hmm. So if you had to do it all over again, what would you change about your up and comings? What would you change? I mean, what would you do different?
That's a good question. I always ask myself that, and I remember one day going to my mom's house, and I was in tears. I couldn't pay my rent. I had gotten a space over on 79th and East End, which was next to the Regal Theater.
Mm-hmm.
And at that time, I wasn't working, and revenue had yet to start coming in for WOSD.
Mm-hmm.
So I went over to my mom's house and I was crying. I was like, "Mom, I should have done something else. This radio stuff ain't working. I'm about ready to quit."
Mm-hmm.
And my mother said, in her infinite wisdom, she said, "Boy, you came out dancing.
Mm.
This is all you've ever wanted to do." She said, "When you were a kid, you called to talk to James Brown on the radio. You kept
Mm.
calling until they answered the phone, and you got to tell him that you used to put salt on the floor so that you could do the James Brown in your good shoes."
Mm.
She said, "Don't you ever talk about what you can't do or what you ain't gonna do, because this is what you do."
Mm.
Now, the other thing is, I play instruments. I play
Okay.
bass guitar. I play drums every Sunday in church. I play a little bit of the keyboards. Um, but I was always, you know, musical.
Okay.
I started DJing when I was like 12 years old. Excuse me. And that was it. That's all I ever wanted to do. The other thing was I wanted to be a preacher.
Uh-oh.
I was, big fan of Reverend Jesse Jackson, uh, Father Clemens, um, Father Michael Flager. I wanted to be like them, the top guns in the city.
Okay.
And then I met Rhonda, and that she rocked my world.
Oh, now which wife was that? You know.
No wife. This
Oh.
was a high school sweetheart.
Oh, okay. She didn't turn into a wife yet?
Nah, she turned into a freak. She turned turned my butt out.
He said, then I
And
met
after
Rhonda.
and after that, I was like, no, maybe that's not my calling. I should go ahead and
Oh,
keep DJing and playing instruments, and that was it.
okay.
If I can be easily tempted like that, then
Hey
being a
man,
preacher, whatever,
look,
that wasn't
there
my.
there there are many preachers that have fallen, to the dark side,
Yeah,
and some of them names that you just named, they got dark sides. Okay, so you would have been in good company.
she
You
was my
know,
Delilah. She cut my
yeah,
hair. That was
yeah.
it.
You
Mm.
know, now I don't know if you want to talk about anything personal, but I mentioned how many wives that was. Did you want to go there or not go there?
I don't mind. My life is an open book. Everybody knows that I've been married twice. And I remember going. I remember the first wife sending me to jail,
Okay.
and I had to go back and forth to 26 in California. And I remember finally getting I guess, my freedom, because I was on probation for a year and a half.
Okay.
And finally, I stood before the judge, and he said, "Have you learned anything?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Yes, sir. I learned that my first wife was afraid of me." He said, "Uh-huh. Keep going." I said, "But my second wife, I'm afraid of her." And everybody in the courtroom fell out. Judge almost fell off the bench. He's like, "You are crazy." I'm scared of her.
Oh man, that
Currently, we are separated.
uh-huh.
I'm scared of her. The
She's
other one didn't
dangerous.
talk back. The first
She's still
wife,
dangerous.
the first wife, she would cower under me. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll kill you." You're like, "Oh, no." This one, is like, "Excuse me, I'll be right back." Oh
Yeah.
no, she's going to get that rusty gun again. Oh
Yeah.
God.
So you still afraid of her now, even though y'all not together?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Her and her father. Because I
Okay.
remember when I was a kid. father tried to jump on my mother. And, at the time it wasn't funny, but when I think back to it, I'm like, that was some funny shit right there. My mother she's from Mississippi.
Okay.
So she has this superhuman strength. That's the only way I can describe it. They were in the kitchen and she was, they were arguing. And my dad went to swing on her. And
Bad move.
he missed. She grabbed the kitchen table and picked that joker up and said,
You say the whole kitchen table.
I was like, Mama's a superhero. She threw that table in the air. I mean, I might be exaggerating, but she threw that table at him.
Oh, man.
Never put your hands on me again. I will call my father and he will kill you. Let that be a warning.
I know that's right.
After that,
that's right.
He never raised a hand. He beat our ass before he would.
Right. Like y'all, y'all in trouble now, don't you? Because I can't beat mama, but y'all gonna get the shit beat out of y'all.
Right? Yeah, we would get all the stuff he couldn't do to mom, he would do to us.
I know that's right. That's right.
I tell you.
Yeah. Well, so do you think that marriage is still in your future, or you've given up on the concept of it?
The first time that I got married and divorced, I said I would never get married again, because at that time, the young lady that my first wife, I didn't really know her. I had made a promise to myself that I was going to get married when I turned 50, because I figured after that I would have sowed my royal oats. I was like Eddie Murphy. I was looking for my queen. And she came along at one of my birthday parties, and I'm like, good Lord, she is beautiful. She is gorgeous. She is crazy. and that's how it went. She had been married before. Me, I'd never been married.
Okay.
So after that was over with, I said, I would never get married again. Never.
Okay.
The marriage, of course, was over with. We signed the papers, went to the courthouse and everything else, and it was over with. And we come on in. So what is this? Oh, okay. This is my boss over here. This is Delvin Randall.
Did he just walk in? We're here.
Hello, Delvin. I know you can't hear us because you got headphones on.
Yeah. Delvin is a former student at Chicago State, and there was a possibility that I was up there at one time and spoke to their class. I don't remember, but I think he probably remembers. Did I ever speak?
Not to my class.
Not to your class, because you were with Reggie Miles.
I was with Miles, but he. I know you've spoken to Miles' class.
Yeah.
That was after I
left. Yeah. So what am I supposed to do with this?
You're supposed to say all of that.
Oh. Oh, okay.
And I'll chop it up to you wherever I want to use it. But
okay. Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I need your rendition of
all those words. Gripping, thrilling, alluring, enticing, irresistible, tantalizing, seductive. That's what it says on here.
Mm-hmm.
Charming, attractive, intriguing, delightful, diverting, entertaining, amusing. WVON presents the 10 most fascinating people of 2021. And now, your host, Samantha Thomas.
You get it.
I get it, see?
Yeah. That's an event coming up pretty soon, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's on WVON. Yeah. But back to the marriage thing. I ended up getting married again to a young lady that I had known for quite a while. I not knew of her, but I knew her. The first wife, I knew of her because I had met her the night of my birthday party, but didn't really know her. But the second one, we have history together.
Okay.
And that's why I said never say never.
Mm-hmm.
Even I've seen people get married at like 70 years old. I'm like, 70 years old. You might get a good 10 years out of this marriage, or maybe. But I never rule it out. And I got some good advice from this gentleman one time. I was DJing his wedding reception. And I said, Mr. I forgot his name. I said, why are you getting married again? He said, I've been married 3 times. I said, well, why are you getting married again? He said, well, the first time I had to, because my wife was pregnant and we were young. The second time I got married, because for financial reasons, because one of us was working and the other one wasn't. He said, this third time I'm getting married because of my health. I said,
Mm-hmm.
health? I said, are you dying? He said, no. He said, first of all, married couples live longer.
Mm.
I'm like, okay. And he said, and second of all, I don't want to die by myself in the house and them find me dead for 2 or 3 days in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to have someone by my side when I do leave this earth. I'd like my family to
Was she a
be around.
young woman?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, younger than
Look,
him. I mean, not young, young.
that would be a good enough reason by itself,
Yeah, but I was like, okay, I get you. I understand. So
Yeah.
I'm not ruling out not getting married again. There's a possibility. I would love to be married.
Yeah, you can
I've
get
done everything else, Doc. I
yeah,
mean, I've been,
yeah. You can get married and start a church.
you're right, yeah. But yeah, right. That ain't gonna work. I've been, I've done, I've done everything that I thought I wanted to do in my life.
Okay.
I've been, uh, how can I put it? I've been a player. I've had almost every woman in every nationality, and some women that couldn't even speak English, and you know, I I ran the gamut of all of them, and
Yeah.
that was it. And
Yeah.
I got to
I
a
can
point.
relate to that.
Yeah, I
you
mean, if
know.
you were in the service, then
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's what you know.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
not
we did.
just there, but being in entertainment, touring and going around the world, man. I've been in this business over 45 years.
Hmm.
Over 45 years. So, I've been places and done things that, are, man, the average civilian would not even understand, you
I
know?
hear you.
Yeah, for real,
I
for
was
real.
I was having a conversation one night with Sam Chapman. I think you know him.
Oh, yeah, my brother. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were having a
Look, I'm the only
conversation.
doctor he trusts.
There you go. Well, Uncle Sam and I were having a conversation one night, and he said, we're living. We have lived a charmed life. I said, how so, Uncle Sam? He said, because we've had almost every type of woman in every situation, you know, that most men just dream about having.
It's true.
Because we're in the business, because we're in the entertainment business, and
Right.
they think that entertainers make a lot of money. In some instances we do, in other instances we don't. But the women just want to be around us. I mean, they treat us like we're, Michael Jackson or Prince or something, and we're just regular guys. But
Yep.
they look at it as if we're in show business.
Right.
So it's like,
It's the fringe benefits of being in show business, to be honest with you.
mhm,
Yeah. I've always looked at it as a fringe benefit, you know.
right.
Yeah. I've
But it's
had women pull up in a Walmart parking lot where the bus was parked. We had a sleeper coach, and we had just gotten into California. And the lady pulled up in her car, jumps out and said, "Who's on the bus?" I said, "Well, all the people are in the Walmart, buying stuff, but I'm here." So she,
Mm-hmm.
you know, she comes on the bus. She says, "Oh, this is a pretty bus." The next thing I know, I'm in the back, you know, banging her brains out, you know. And the driver starts vacuuming the floor, right? Because if she was making too much noise.
Oh wow! Oh wow!
So hey man, friends benefits of being in the business, you know.
Yeah, it is.
You
Because
know.
I remember being at GCI. This was a few
Uh-huh.
years ago. I was at GCI, and every night, almost every night, I had visitors downstairs. We were at 332 South Michigan on the sixth floor. Well, I had an arrangement with the doorman. And I told him, I said, if they look good, send them up. If not, tell them I'm not there. I'm on tape or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I met some of the most gorgeous women in not only in Chicago, but there was one young lady from St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they had that accent, you know. And I was like, say that again. Because I just loved
Right.
it. It would just tickle me the way she said, you know, her. It was like, her? She said, her? No, come her. Come her? Come here.
uh
Come
yeah.
her. Come
Uh-huh.
here. Come here. Come here. Oh, that's so cute. Oh, what you gonna do to me?
So look, turned you on with the smallest of things.
I
Well
know, right?
look,
It was
well
just that
look,
accent. Oh,
look, look, before we run out of time, I want to talk about your radio station some more now. You know, we see the call letters right on the screen, www.wosdradio.com.
mm-hmm.
And that's in the creation, like you said, you know, you put in play a little while back. And I know you've had lots of people to come work with you. I know Reggie was over there doing a show at one time. You
Mm-hmm.
know, you've had quite a
Still
few
is.
people. He's still doing the show? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that are there supporting what you're doing. And as we know now, internet radio is not going anywhere. It's here to stay. You know, a lot of people have proven the marketplace and have established it. It's kind of like cryptocurrency. It ain't going nowhere. It's here
Mm-mm.
to stay, you
Mm-hmm.
know. So what is it that you're trying to do with the station, what you want to do with the station? And if there's anybody listening that feels like they can be a part of what you're doing, let them know where they can fit in at. Just talk about that.
The station is a tribute to everyone who came before me, all of the WVON good guys. You know, like I always say, Richard, Herb, Butterball, Purvis
I always call
Mann,
them the bad guys. You call them the good guys.
yeah, E. Rodney Jones, Joe Cobb,
Yeah.
Jay Johnson, um, what was his name? Bill Dockley, all of the jocks, Lucky Cordell, all of them. I always say I stand on their shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
They are the elders now. It's like they're looking down at me and they're like, okay, because I'm one of the last that, you know, came up under them that
Mm-hmm.
is still at WVON. I mean, and I posted this recently from 3350 South Kedzie to 1200 East 87th Street to 800 South Wells. I was there at WVON in the late 70s. I came back in the 2000s when it was 1390. Um, you know, VON has always been a part of my life. So I wanted to pay tribute to those people who came before me. The music that they played. I remember the WVON Christmas albums with their pictures on
Mm-hmm.
it, you know,
Yep.
as little ornaments.
I still
You
got one.
I still have a couple of them.
Yeah.
And that is my tribute to them. That is my, uh, I guess I'm a child of WVON and WGRT/JPC. You know, they were my babysitters, whether they know it or not. But they raised me in the business. I remember meeting Bernadine C. Washington. I was an intern
Mm.
at GCI back in the 80s when they were at 6 North Michigan. And
Mm-hmm.
I ran up to her like a wide eyed kid and I said, ma'am, you don't know me, But my name is Al Greer, and I'm an intern here at WGCI. And she looked at me with that look that she always had. And she looked down at me. She said, "Baby." I said, "Yes, yes, ma'am." She said, "You're in the right place." Who knew that years later that I would be working at WVON, that I'd be
Mm-hmm.
working at 1390, that I'd be working at 107.5, that I'd be working for WJPC, which was 106.3 and 950 AM. Who knew
Mm-hmm.
that it would go from there? And that was it. That's my 40-year journey. And the radio station is part of my journey. It's my tribute to them, everyone who came before me, everyone who ever cracked a mic on 3350 South Kedzie, everybody who ever did a commercial or did a record hop or a sock hop
Mm-hmm.
or anything. It's a tribute to them because they were, once again, my babysitters. They are
Mm-hmm.
now my angels. They are now the elders. And I want to pay tribute to them each and every time that I turn on the mic. And
Mm-hmm.
that's it.
So what do you need? You need people to come be a part of what you're doing, or you got everything you need?
I would love to. And people ask me all the time, what do you miss most about radio? I said, I miss teaching.
Mm-hmm.
They always say, reach one, teach one.
All right.
And that's what I want to do. I want to continue teaching people who are coming up in the business. Some people say that radio is dead. I disagree. It's on life support. It's
Mm-hmm.
not dead. It's just the right people haven't come along yet. I mean, those people that I grew up listening to, uh, not only on WVON, but people like Donnie Simpson and Frankie Crocker, Jerry Bledsoe, all the people over at WBLS and WWRL in New York, and all over. Anybody who I ever listened to on an air check or on the radio, uh, you know, those people I want to pay tribute to, and I want to bring people in and teach them what I know because I know, my days are numbered on this earth, and I want to be able to pass it on to someone else, and hopefully they can use it, and hopefully they will follow in in not only my footsteps, but the footsteps of the elders,
Mm-hmm.
and then I could teach them and tell them about those people, and that they learn from that, and they can carry it on into their lives and in their careers. There's
Mm-hmm.
not a lot of money in radio, but there is some money to be made. You just have to go about making it and
Yeah,
finding out
you got
how
you
to.
got you got to do 10 different jobs at one time. You'll make some money, you know.
Yeah, you know, I,
So,
and I say all the time, I got to carry a sign to every radio station because I was at the other radio station the other night and I answered the phone, WVON, and they're like, who? Oh, WBGX. Hello,
yeah, yeah,
W. And it's like
you got to remind yourself where you
I
at.
have to remind
Yeah,
myself where I am.
yeah,
Even at my
yeah,
own station. Sitting
yeah.
at home in my underwear doing my show. It's like WOSD. Yeah, that's where I am now. Okay.
Man, that's a visual I do not need. It's so crazy because
I can't.
sometimes I catch him late at night sitting in front of Facebook, trying to broadcast from someplace with no internet connection, and and then the screen is freezing up, stuff like that. Now, I'm as a courtesy because he's my brother, I'm gonna pop in and say, "Hey, bro, how you doing? Good evening." And he pops in on my shows, like if I'm doing something and he's free, he'll pop in and say, "Hey, bros, how you doing?" And it's courtesy, it's professional courtesy. We all love each other, we all work together, and now I'm gonna be fucked up because you just told me you'd be sitting there in your underwear, man. I'll be like, I'm not talking to him today.
I'm sorry, not my underwear, my pajamas.
Okay, all right, I can handle that.
Yeah,
I can
not my
handle
underwear.
that.
Because
All
see,
right.
there are times where I have to stand up and go to the bathroom.
Uh-huh.
I stand up and they see that I have my draws on. It's like, they'll be trying to find out what my address is.
Uh, I can talk to you now. I'm cool. I
Okay.
can handle that. Pajamas.
Okay.
I can handle that. But man, you mess me up. You talking about I'll be in there with my drawers on.
In my
Oh
drawers.
Lord, Lord have mercy. I do
That's some
not need
nasty
to
stuff.
think that sitting here looking at him on Facebook talking about he's sitting there in his drawers. No, I'm not talking to him right now.
Oh, he nasty. Nasty man.
Well, look, what you got going on? Because this is like my last show of this year.
Hmm.
Okay, because the next show I do will be in the new year. So, what you got going on in the new year?
Well, actually, I'm going on the air tonight. I will be on two different radio stations at two different times. Tonight at 9 o'clock, I'll be on Bedtime Stories on WOSD Radio, which is my own station. Uh, and that's tonight from midnight until, I'm sorry, 9 until midnight Central Standard Time. At midnight, or actually 12:05, I will be doing the B-sides on 1690 WVON via the iHeartRadio app. So
Okay.
I'll be on back to back tonight. And, one of those times I will probably be asleep listening to one of those shows. So,
I know that's right. So to get to, they go to the website and click listen live. Is that what they got to do?
yeah, go to the website, click listen live. Or if they're listening on their phone or tablet, we have an app. If you go to the Amazon Play Store and just download WOSD app, and that way you can interact with me while I'm on the air, as well as Facebook. So
Okay.
yeah, it's
All
really
right.
cool.
I believe it. Look, we've running out of time, man. We've been on the air almost an hour now.
Mhm.
I always like to ask this question before people get out of here. What is it that you would like to leave with the people before you go today?
Oh, wow. That's a good question. I would like to leave with them that I try to help everybody. I was always there for people. I was always made myself available to people, whether I wanted to be or not. I would always make myself available if they wanted to talk to me. I would always make myself accessible to people. When I talked to different classes at Kennedy King in Chicago State, they couldn't believe that I was actually giving out my personal number. And that's just it. You know, I have no, I mean, if I get a number that I don't want to call me anymore, of course I can just block it, right?
Right.
But I want to make myself accessible to everybody who wants to be in this business because it's a wonderful business to be in. Despite some of the people whom we know
Hey,
who've kind of, given it a bad name. But,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like I always say, don't hate me because you ain't me. But anyway,
Right, right,
but
right.
I would like everyone who wants to go into this business to contact me and I will walk them through it. I don't want to ever discourage anyone from doing this. I got discouraged once as a
Mm-hmm.
guy, and I don't mind saying his name. His name is Tom Joyner, and I interviewed him as a classmate. As I was in school at South Shore High School, and I took a camera crew down to the Johnson Publishing Company building. And one of the questions that I asked him was, what advice do you have for someone young like myself getting into the business? And he said, don't. It's too hard. My degree is in sociology. I did
Uh-huh.
radio on summertime at my uncle's radio station.
All right.
So you need to go back to school and find something that you need that you do.
Yeah.
And he almost taught me out of it.
Yeah. Well,
And
thank God he didn't.
years,
Yeah.
that was some 40 years ago. Now he's retired and I'm still going.
There you go. Well, I want to thank
Someday.
you. I want to thank you, bro, for taking time out of your busy schedule to come hang out with me today, man, again, because it's your second time on the show. You going to come back
Yeah,
and see me again?
absolutely. Whenever you want me, I'll
Okay.
be there.
All right.
You
Well,
call me.
thank you, man. I appreciate you. Lots of words of wisdom and inspiration there. And I know people, if they listen, they'll get the meat and potatoes out of what you were saying. You know, you put a lot of stuff out there, man, you know, and it's profound. And you've established yourself in an industry that's really cutthroat, you
Oh yeah.
know, and you know, made a profound name for yourself, you know. So
Thank you.
I applaud you, man. I celebrate you. You know, I know you just had a birthday about a week ago. You know, happy
Yes, sir.
birthday once again.
Thank you.
You know, you have to go easy on that hair dye, man. You know, you're gonna wind up like me if you don't. You know.
Ancient Chinese secret
There you go. There you go.
to how I keep it like
Yeah.
this.
Well,
Yeah.
go over to his website. His contact information is all on his website. Go over there, check him out, support him, show him some love. You know, it's always good because love will come back. You know, if you show
Yes.
him love, he will show love back. Yep.
Absolutely.
So look, we got to get out of here, man. Stay right there. Don't go nowhere. Let me flip the scene here. Look, I want to encourage everybody to make contributions and donations. All of my information is currently on the slide where you can support what we're doing. We appreciate that. Go over to my website, ask-dr-ron.com, and support all of my advertisers. Without them, we would not be able to do what we do here. Please go to my YouTube channel and subscribe, hit the notification button so you'll see every time we go live. And Happy New Year. We'll see you guys on the other side in 22. Stay blessed, everybody. Peace.